Hello comrades, and welcome back. Today I'm in a quite different setting than usual, outside of my comfort zone I should say, so I have to be a little bit more quiet and respectful of my surroundings since I am in a lobby of a hotel, luckily not very crowded yet. So I wanted to sit down and have whatever environment I'm in and just record all the information kind of live. Just to give you perspective on how I do my videos, I do have a script in front of me usually where I kind of keep myself grounded and focused on the topic, but I don't usually have a lot of takes. All of the videos that I do are just one recording, one take, one sitting, 15 minutes done. So any kind of mistakes, any sort of noise around me, pardon me, and that's why I wanted to make sure that I'm in a little bit more uncomfortable situation for myself, with people around, with noises, with unexpected events and things that might kind of kill the spiel, so to speak, and yet still deliver the information that I want. The reason I do these is to have a conversation, with you as a general kind of public here, right? But then also being able to have a conversation individually in this kind of format, where we have a dialogue around your specific goals, your needs in tech or career ambitions, specifically attached and sort of obviously related to my experience. And my experience, of course, as you may already know, I have said this multiple times, is around the US tech sector, working for a company out there, specifically Apple, for so long, and kind of having had these different roles, and being from Eastern Europe myself, and kind of comparing the two cultures now that I'm sort of back here, and hybrid of both, and a product of my own kind of past. I want to help those that are in the same boat, right? That are either looking to move to the States or are already there and need some, support maybe to get going, right? And so today I actually will talk about just that, right? I will share some information in a series of actually 3 videos following this one about getting started in the States, right? How to apply to an American, specifically, again, based on my experience. I don't want to be, the armchair general just talking about everything, because I don't know how to apply to maybe some other companies in other business sectors. But speaking specifically about applying to a tech company in the States, going through that process, what do you need, right? What kind of preparation, what sort of steps you need to take? How do you do the interview with your interviewee, right? So all those things combined, I'm going to break it down to you guys in 3 videos. And starting today, the first video that I'm going to share with you is going to be around the actual kind of basis, right? I like to always share things in terms of the context, right? Like the foundation of your, choice. Like, why are you doing this? What's the point, right? Because asking why before you do something is usually a healthy way to start a new journey, right? Because you're going to be using a lot of your time, putting a lot of your skills and work into something that you better know why, right? Why you're doing, the reason for. And so today, and of course my computer just logged out, so I'm gonna go back into it. There it is. There's my script. Today I will talk to you about a topic that I recently shared with a company called Skillbox. I was honored to be invited into their kind of lecture. Right? They have this kind of feature for their students and those interested in attending that online school, where they bring in an expert on a certain topic and have him share his perspective, his background around that topic. And it seems like a lot of people, especially those that are studying at Skillbox or working with them, have expressed interest in this specific topic of how to apply to an American company, right? Tech company specifically. And so as I said, in my next 3 videos, I'll be talking about a step 1, which is going to be called get ready, right? The second one is going to be steady, and the next one is go, right? It's ready, steady, go. Ready, set, go sometimes. So with a situation that we're in right now where a lot of people can work remotely, and a lot of times you are given an opportunity to apply to a job in a completely different country just based on your skill set. There are still a lot of things to consider when you're applying and you're trying to get a job in the US. Things like preparation, building your resume, getting ready for the round of interviews, like I said, doing the actual interviews, and then of course there are various types of employment to consider that limit you in a certain way, and you need to understand your sort of rights and your opportunities that these visas and employment types open for you. So this is where I want to start today. I wanted to reiterate that, as you already probably have seen in my videos, I'm not about quick and easy schemes. I'm not about, here's the recipe of 5 steps you need to take to be guaranteed a position. No, everything here is my opinion, allegedly. It is all just what I think and have kind of experienced, and just am sharing for free to anyone interested. The reason why I do this is because I do enjoy meeting some of you guys, face to face afterwards, going deeper into these topics, right? So if you are one of those interested and getting prepared to apply to work in the States and just need that kind of support, that's literally why I do this. This is my sort of advert for you guys to reach out and work with me further. So right now, again, this is just going to be, there's no quick and easy schemes, there's no secret recipes, just steps along the way is what I'm going to be describing. And I wanted to start with the foundation, right, the basics, because I believe that, based on my own experience in my life, if you are true to your actual needs and desires, if you know yourself well enough to follow those desires, you will somehow achieve those goals, and somehow is going to be unique to everyone, right? So I think this works in multiple ways, and for me it worked multiple times. For instance, when I made a decision to move to the States, I haven't really planned anything. I knew I will be there. I did my research. I talked to those already who already kind of did the journey, learned from them, right? Kind of sorted out the information, right? And did this work myself. So yes, I've downloaded the information from those people, the actual sort of in the field experts of this topic that I was interested in. But then I started working with that information, right? So I started kind of building my own plan based off of that. And I wanted to, again, share that information with you right now so you can take it, throw it away, use it in any shape or form. My point is, to this kind of introduction, getting hired in the States requires a lot more than just a sort of general need, or maybe fashion, or just what other people do, or wanting a better job than what you currently have. Going to a different country within a completely different environment requires you to really understand that that is something that you are willing to sacrifice other things for. You're leaving a lot behind. You're leaving your friends, your family, your old habits, your environment, your comfort, and even your rights sometimes, right? Because if you're from Europe, there's other things that may not, or be very much of a surprise to you when you move to the States. There's rights and regulations, rules, and all kinds of stuff that you don't expect, moving there. And we're going to talk about that in the last video of the series. But if you're really genuinely serious and kind of mature about this, and you're ready to sacrifice a lot of things in your life for that one kind of attempt and one journey that you're going to take, it's just the same as back in 17th and 18th century, where people would just hop on a boat and just sail to the unknown territory, the terra incognita, to the United States of who knows what at that point, right? And we're really leaving the entire life the new chapter, just starting everything anew. It's similar. I know it's easier to just hop on a plane, get a visa, and fly out there, right? But it's still a very big undertaking. It's a life-changing, life-altering decision. Being a different culture, different language, different pressure, it's a stress that you should be ready for, and you should be willing to take. That's my basis for this. So if you're still interested, if you're still strong enough, if you thought about it, pause this video and decided, you know what, this is good. Like, I really want to do this. Then you've got my attention, and I hope I have yours. So my today's introduction is about that exact fact that there's no easy answer. But let's start with kind of the American way of building your profile, right? Let's start from the very basics, right? So if you've decided this is what you want to do, you're ready to sacrifice a lot of things in your life, let's get to the very beginning. Let's get to the basics. Let's start building a resume. How do you build it the American way? Well, there are ways and suggestions I can make. There's no easy answer. I mean, there are obviously templates you have in Word and Pages and Google Docs or whatever, where you can just simply fill in the blanks based off of what those companies actually think the resume should look like, right? Google, Apple, Microsoft. But let's start with things that you should not do. You should never have in your resume. That's something I can guarantee you from the very beginning, and at least we can sort that out. And the first thing that I wanted to share is, and I've noticed that here and just looking at resumes in Eastern Europe or even Europe sometimes, is there's sometimes photos of like you on the resume. Don't have that. Like, never put a photo of yourself on the resume, CV, whatever you call it, simply because it's considered rude, inconsiderate. It implies that you think that you may be hired, and you may not mean that, but it implies to the stranger looking at your resume that you may be hired because of your looks. But then also think about it this way. The whole equality thing, right? So you are sharing your with the photo of you, just a face, you're sharing your race, your sex, your age, all those things. And it's considered inappropriate, to say the least, to kind of share those things right on the photo, in the photo. So no photos on CVs. Start with that. Everyone is equal. That's the goal. Second, your bio. You have an option to write your kind of story, your personal journey that led you to a position in a cover letter, sure, even though it's not required anymore, but you could. But your resume, your CV should be just to the point. You should use the exact kind of verbatim, sometimes exact words from the job description, and put that all in your resume, kind of description of your job assignments and your experience, just because that is something that I'll talk to you a little bit more in details, but that is something that is considered professional, a business English, right? Professional language. And that means that you've read and analyzed their job description. So let's talk about those words that you choose specifically, right? Choose words wisely. There are, and I talk a lot about this in my videos, I share with you the business English, the words, the expressions, the things to use and not use, and it's very complicated, I'll be honest. There's no easy, again, sort of template to just fill in. It's important when you're listing your work experience to, again, look over the job you're applying, and you want to use those exact words in that description. Now, I'll tell you a little bit more as to why. Your resume at first is obviously part of millions of resumes, right? That are bombarding that company over and over and over again every single day. So you need to accept that, and of course, a human being cannot analyze and work through those resumes. So there's a lot to work with, right? So in tech companies and in other companies now, an AI, a bot is doing all that job and all that work. And the way the bot works is it analyzes the wording and the algorithm just matches or not, right, your specific sentences to the job requirements, literally verbatim. There may have some similar kind of allowed words that are going to be synonyms to what is required in the job description, but to match a certain criteria, you want to be copying word for word a job description and putting that into your actual experience in a resume. So every resume really should be tailored to your job that you're applying. So yeah, you have to satisfy the robot there. You also want to be thinking about how you describe your experiences, right? Yes, verbatim is good. You've copied the words, you've filled them in. Your bot kind of accepted you, but then a human being will be reviewing those resumes afterwards. So you want to be also kind of concise and professional about how you've described your experience and how you think it's related to the job that you're applying to. So a real person can also understand and see the value and not just see that you've literally copied their job description and placed it and pasted it into your resume. So it's kind of a tough task. And today I'll leave you at that. I don't like doing super long videos. I know it's hard to digest sometimes, but this is where you start, right? Is finding out whether or not it's even worth it for you to apply and think about moving and changing your life, and sometimes suffering in many ways, and really getting out of your comfort zone literally in a lot of ways you don't even expect you will. And second, when you build that resume, just use those tips that I've just shared with you to even just get started. Other than that, for today, I'm looking at my notes here. I think I'm done for the first video. I really would appreciate if you shared maybe some of your suggestions on what else you would like to see in the future videos. This request just came from Skillbox, and I've noticed after doing that lecture in Russian, by the way, it's available to see on their website and their YouTube channel. It was a little bit challenging for me to be honest. But I've done that video, and I thought maybe this is something you would want to know as well, since that was a major kind of request from their side and their kind of audience. So there we have it. Step one, get your resume ready, get your mind ready, and reach out to me, of course, if you have any further questions specific to this kind of foundation and how to really understand whether or not you are ready for something like this, such a great endeavor. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm here for you. See you in the next one.